It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and you are a baby tiger. It's Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood in Neighborhood Nutcracker. I didn't watch this one as a kid, but I do have a feeling that if this was on while I was still part of the age demographic, I would have enjoyed it. The episode starts off with Daniel Tiger telling us what we are going to do. Today, we will go ice skating with Dad. Then, we will watch a performance of the Nutcracker Ballet. Daniel is very excited and can soon be seen playing in the snow with his friend. His dad comes along to pick them up and take them ice skating. But to get to the lake, they need to sled down a big hill. And Daniel is scared because it seems hard. That's when his dad chimes in with some advice for the day. If something seems hard to do, try it a little bit at a time. Inspired by this, Daniel and his friend walk halfway down the hill, making the path to the bottom shorter, and then they sled down just that little bit, which turns out to be quite fun. This gives them the courage to climb up the hill and slide down its full height. Then they get to the frozen lake, where Daniel will ice skate for the first time. He's scared of doing it, since it looks pretty hard, but his dad helps him take it easy and do it little by little, so he tries it a little bit at a time and discovers that it's quite fun. Daniel then takes us to a live-action segment where we see a real-life kid go ice skating, and the episode ends. Well, that didn't have anything to do with the Nutcracker. Oh, it's the next half of the episode. Okay. Daniel greets us by the door and tells us that he's going to see a neighborhood performance of the Nutcracker, and he's very excited. His mom then calls him over so that she can tell him the Nutcracker story. She explains that in the ballet, people dance to express what's going on, so she wants to read him the story so that he knows what to expect. Because when we do something new, let's talk about what to do. I love this because it's a very practical and concrete way of introducing the ballet to your kids. If they just watch the dance, they will be pretty confused because it's not an obvious or even conventional way of telling the story. And many of the ballet versions I've looked at during this month do that too. They have some guy at the beginning of each act telling you what the story is so that you can follow along. I feel like knowing the story beforehand greatly enhances your enjoyment of the performance, so kudos to this mom for teaching the story to her kid. In the tale, Clara has a Nutcracker doll that comes to life, so Daniel feels inspired to imagine himself dancing with his own toys as if they came to life, along with the characters from the story. It feels silly to have tutorials for kids on how to make believe, but I like this idea. It's teaching them how they can put themselves in the stories they read, or how they can incorporate the ideas they learn into their playtime. Daniel and his dad go to the venue where the ballet will take place, but Daniel's owl friend is afraid of going inside because the place is too loud. His friend's dad then says if something seems hard to do, they should try doing it a little bit at a time. Wait, I've heard this before. The owl takes it easy, and with Daniel's support, he decides to stay for the play. That's when Daniel's cat friend calls him backstage, and we discover that the kid who was going to play the Nutcracker is sick. The cat wants Daniel to fill in as the Nutcracker because, as she puts it,
"But the show must go on, meow meow."
Daniel is unsure about doing it because it seems hard, but his friend and her mom teach him the dance moves, which they practice by taking it easy and doing one step at a time. Daniel gains the confidence he needs to go on stage, and they present the play to all of their neighbors. We end this episode with a real-life segment where a kid goes to the theater where a performance of the Nutcracker Ballet is happening, and she gets to talk to the ballerinas and walk backstage and watch the performance at the end. This is a nice way of sparking the kids' interest not only in the specific Nutcracker spectacle, but on the art form itself. What a wholesome little show. This is based on the principles and heritage of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and we all know how wonderful that series was. The lessons the characters learn in these episodes are useful in a life sense, as it teaches them to deal with tough situations, and they also throw in a little culture with the ballet as a bonus. The tiger design is cute! Look at him! Look at that little guy! I was also struck by the dad's voice in this. It's so calming and friendly. The mix of human and animal characters makes for some fun variety, and like I said, I enjoy the ways in which this show teaches kids to play pretend. This one is another case where the plot isn't so much about the Nutcracker tale, but instead about the act of watching the ballet, and I think the issue is dealt with very tactfully given the target audience, as it gives the kids a heads up on what to expect story-wise, and it also teaches the parents how to handle the situation. I've got nothing bad to say. This is one neighborhood I am proud to be a part of.